Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Abs and Back. Emmanuel is going to be our model today, and I will be narrating for the instruction of the class today. So, we're going to focus on our abdominal muscles and our back muscles, our core muscles that help keep us upright through the day. So, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So, we want to start in a seated position, and this class can be done either on the floor or in bed, actually, just somewhere where you can lay down, have the ability to lay down flat and be well supported. But Emmanuel's on a mat, so that's where we're going to start today. So we're going to go ahead and have him bend his knees, have his feet be flat on the mat, sitting up nice and tall to start with. We're going to go ahead and reach both of our arms straight out in front of us. And now he's going to gently roll back ever so slightly, and then just right back up nice and tall. Now it's not a big motion, just rolling back and then rolling back up. Now as he rolls back, he's breathing in, and as he rolls back up, he's actually exhaling, breathing out, pushing that air out of his lungs, tightening those abdominal muscles as he rolls back and rolls up the entire time. Back and forth. Don't let those heels lift up off the bed or the mat, and make sure you're within control. We're going to try two more. Last one here. Hang in there. Very good. Now from here, we can go ahead and lay our legs down completely flat on the mat. We want some separation in between our feet, and you can have a gentle little bend in your knee as well. That usually makes it a little more comfortable. We're going to go ahead and reach both of our arms out to our side. With the arms out to our side, we're going to take our opposite pinky. We're going to lean forward and reach for our opposite pinky toe. Then we're going to come back to center, and same thing with the other opposite side with the opposite pinky and opposite pinky toe. As we're leaning forward and reaching for those toes, we're exhaling. As we come back up to a comfortable seated position, that's when we're going to be inhaling. And we're just going to continue this motion back and forth. And again, we can have that soft bend in our knee to alleviate any stress or strain on those leg muscles. Just make sure we're tightening those abdominal muscles while we're leaning forward, and really do reach for those toes. We're not just using our arms. Emmanuel's reaching and leaning forward, really trying to get those toes. One more time to each side. All right, very good. So from here, we're going to go ahead and have Emmanuel roll back down, laying flat on his mat. And again, you can lay flat on the floor, flat in bed, whatever's comfortable for you. And we're actually going to give you a little break here. Go ahead and draw both of your knees in towards your chest for a little stretch here. Now, while we're holding this stretch, if you like, you can lift your head and shoulders off of your mat for a little bit of a deeper stretch, if that's comfortable for you. If you like, you can also imagine drawing some circles with your lower back on the mat, which can sometimes feel nice as well. And you can do that in either direction. Or if you're completely happy keeping your head and shoulders flat on the mat or bed, go with that as well, whichever you like. But I think break time's over. Go ahead and return both of your feet now back down to the mat. Your feet are flat, your knees are going to be bent. Go ahead and place both of your hands back behind your head. Now with our hands behind our head, make sure to keep your elbows out to your side, all right? Elbows are out to our side, hands are behind our head, just supporting our head and our neck. We're going to move into a little bit of a crunch where we're just going to tighten those abdominal muscles. We're going to lift the head and shoulders up, and then we're going to come back down. Now we want to make sure to keep those elbows out to the side while we're doing that, so our hands are just supporting our head and our neck. And again, tighten those abdominals coming up and then coming back down. Exhaling on the way up, inhaling as we come back flat to the mat. If you can see your elbows in your direct line of sight, I have a feeling you're probably pulling on your head and neck too much. So just use the hands for support. Don't use the hands to help pull yourself up. Let's try two more. Emmanuel's still exhaling on the way up. Inhaling on the way back down. Last one. Very good. We can go ahead and stop. Let's go ahead and bring our arms back down to our side now. All right. With our arms down to our side, Let's go ahead and take both your hands and grab one of your knees. Just grab one knee and pull one knee into your chest. Now the other leg, I want you to extend that other leg out at a 45-degree angle in between the floor and the ceiling. Keep that leg nice and straight out to higher. All right, very good. Now we're just going to slowly alternate. We're going to take both of our hands, grab the other knee, pull the opposite knee in, and extend the other leg out at that same 45-degree angle. And we're just going to keep alternating back and forth. Now we don't need to go fast here. We can go nice and slow and controlled. Back and forth. Provides a little stretch, but also a little resistance. Now, the lower you have your extended leg, the lower that leg goes, the more work you're going to do, actually. So the lower you have that leg, the more work it's going to do, the more work you're having to do. But now you also have the choice. You can continue to keep your head and shoulders flat on the mat while you're doing this. Or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, right? Everyone's different. If you want a little more of a challenge, you can lift your head and shoulders off the mat while we're doing this motion. And again, still pulling one knee into your chest and extend the opposite leg back and forth. We're going to keep going. We're going to do 2 more to each side. One more time here. Last one to each side. Very good. And then we can lay our legs completely flat on the mat. We can go ahead and lay our head back down completely flat on the mat as well. All right, so we want to keep our arms down to our side for this next one. Now here's the tricky part. We're going to try and take both of our feet, lift both of our feet up to the sky. Now we can have a little bend in our knee. That's going to be natural because that's going to be more comfortable. We want to keep our legs together. And just with our feet elevated, I want you to draw some circles with your legs in one direction. Just around, nice and slow, controlled, drawing some circles with those legs. And now let's reverse direction. Now the smaller the circles you draw, the easier this exercise becomes. The larger the circles you draw, the more work you're going to do. So again, you kind of get to decide how much work you're going to do and how hard you're going to work today. One more time. Good. From here, go ahead and lower your legs back down flat to the mat. Your knees are going to be bent. Your feet will be flat. Arms are still in by our side. We're going to move into the bridge position now. We're going to go ahead and take our hips. We're going to lift those hips up off the mat. Squeeze our glutes together, lift the hips up into a bridge position, and then slowly come back down flat to the mat. And again, as we lift up, that's when we're going to exhale. As we come back down, that's when we're going to inhale. Good for those low back muscles. We want to keep those low back muscles nice and strong. And we'll continuing to just lift the hips up nice and high and then slowly come right back down. This is another one where we don't want to go too fast. Speed isn't necessary. Always in control here. Breathing out on the way up. Inhaling on the way back down. Really squeeze those glutes together and really try to lift those hips up as high as you can. Let's go ahead and do a few more. 3 more. 3 more to go. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Very good. As we slowly lower our hips back down to the mat, you can go ahead and give yourself a little break. Grab both of your knees, pull your knees into your chest for a little stretch here. And again, those same options that we discussed previously, where you can draw some circles with your lower back on the mat in either direction. Or if you like, you can lift your head and shoulders off the mat for a little bit of a deeper stretch, or any combination of the two, whichever you seem to like. All right, we can go ahead and lay our legs, feet back down flat to the mat. And I think we're just about ready to roll onto our front side. So I'd ask for you to roll over however you find easiest. So Emmanuel's going to roll over onto his front side, laying down flat on the mat. And then again, this gives yourself a little chance to take a break. You know, if you need to grab a drink of water or take a little breather, you can. But if you're ready, I know Emmanuel's ready. We're going to go ahead and reach both of our arms straight out in front of us. We're going to keep our legs nice and straight as well. Now I want you to make sure you have your arms and legs nice and straight. Keep the arms and legs nice and straight, and make sure you're looking down towards your mat to help keep your spine in a line. So for this exercise, we're going to take our opposite arm and opposite leg. We're going to lift them up off of the mat, and then we're going to return back down. Same thing with the other opposite arm, opposite leg, lifting up and coming right back down. Now all the motion is from the shoulder and from the hip. It's not from the elbow and it's not from the knee. The arm and leg remain straight. And as he's lifting the arm and leg up off the mat, he's going to be exhaling as he lifts up. And then when he comes back down to the mat, that's going to be our inhale. That's our resting position, right? We always want to breathe out on the forceful part of the exercise that requires effort. We're tightening those glutes again as we're lifting the leg up. 2 more to each side. Last one to each. Very good. We can go ahead and lay flat. Again, this gives us a little break, a little breather, one more time. And changing gears here, we're still going to be laying on our front side, but go ahead and bring your arms down to your side now. Now remember, we're still looking down towards our mat, still keeping our spine in a line. I want you to turn your hands so your palms are facing down. All right. Now for this next exercise, only our upper half is going to be moving. Our legs are going to be in contact with the mat the entire time. We don't want to feel our feet lift up. We don't want to feel our legs lift up. But we're going to lift our head and shoulders up, though. As we lift our head and shoulders up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then we're going to lift our hands and thumbs up to the sky as high as we can go. And then we're going to come back down. And then again, we're going to lift the hands and come back down. Now remember, keeping the legs flat, lifting the head and shoulders up, coming back down. Just a few more of these. This one can be tricky. 2 more times. Last one. All right, good. We can just lay down here flat, giving ourselves a little breather one more time. But whenever you're ready, we're going to come up to our hands and our knees now. So we want to come up to the hands and the knees into a nice flat back tabletop position. But we are going to give ourselves a little rest here. So I want you to sit back into your heels. We can take a water break if we need be. So we're going to sit back into our heels. We're going to lower our head and shoulders, and we're going to reach our arms out and just give ourselves a nice stretch. Now I want you to have your big toes together. Your knees should be separated. And that really lets you sit back into those heels to release those low back muscles and really accept that deep stretch through that low back. Really reach those arms out as far as you can while we're having this stretch. Now go ahead and take both of your hands. Walk both of your hands to one side of your mat or bed, again, whichever you're laying on. And just feel that stretch now all the way through your side. Go ahead and slowly walk both of your hands back to the center. And now continue those hands to the opposite side of the mat or the bed, whichever you're laying on. And again, feel that stretch all the way through your side one more time. We'll go ahead and walk our hands back to the center for the final time. We're slowly going to come back up to our hands and knees into a nice flat back tabletop position again. All right, we're gonna move into our bird dogs now, where we're gonna take our opposite arm and opposite leg. Extend the arm and leg as far out as you can, trying to stay nice and straight, nice and flat. And we're gonna hold this for a few seconds. And now we can lower that arm and leg back down, and then we'll just switch to the other arm and leg. Nice and straight, leg is parallel with the ground. And lowering that arm back. And we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going, keep alternating. Go at your own pace, but we're gonna try to hold each position for 3 or 4 seconds. And we're just gonna keep alternating back and forth, but really reach that arm and leg out as far as you can. Now Emmanuel's still looking down towards his mat to help keep his spine in a line still. That's important. He's still controlling his breath through this entire motion as well. We're going to try 3 more to each side. And again, you're still going at your own pace. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Very good. From here, you can go ahead and sit back into your heels one more time. Lower your head and shoulders. Reach those arms out for a nice stretch yet again. Whenever you feel like you've had enough of this stretch and you feeling those low back muscles have relaxed and released that stretch, go ahead and lay down flat on your mat or bed, still on your front side. Now, if you've joined us here before for our abs and back class, you're very familiar with planks. We are going to do planks today, everyone's favorite, right? If you had to pick one abdominal exercise to do, planks are great. There's some variations of planks that can be done, so we're going to show you just the modified position that makes the planks easier, and then we'll show you the traditional plank, which is a little more difficult. So you have some options here. So option 1, we're going to be supporting ourselves mainly on our elbows and our forearms. All right, now Emmanuel's going to lift his feet up a little bit, supporting himself from his knees. Now he's going to use his arms to push down into the mat, and he's going to lift his midsection up off the mat, but he's still staying straight as a board. Now we're feeling those abdominal muscles tighten while he's holding that position. We don't want to lift the hips up super high. We want to keep those hips nice and straight and even with if there was a straight line from our shoulders to our hips down to our knees. So then you can go ahead and come back down. So that's the easier plank position. Now the more difficult plank position, the more traditional plank position, is supporting ourselves from our toes mainly. The positioning of our arms and elbows are the same. And we're going to push down with those arms. We're going to lift our midsection up one more time, but this time we're supporting ourselves from our toes. So this is a little more difficult. Now again, Emmanuel's staying nice and straight. His midsection is just 3 or 4 inches off of his mat, but he's feeling these abdominal muscles tighten. His breathing might be starting to labor, but he's still maintaining this position and maintaining his breath. So those are the plank positions. So we can go ahead and come back down. So hopefully you chose whichever plank position you found most comfortable. But we're going to do a few planks now. Again, whichever starting position you want to use, that is entirely up to you. I'm just going to start a timer for you and let you know we're going to try to do 3 30-second planks today, okay? So here's the first one, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's come on up, whichever plank position you choose. We're just going to hold this position here. Remember, holding the position, but don't hold your breath. You're about halfway there. It's been about 15 seconds already. Remember, we're holding this for 30 seconds today. Maintain that breath. Don't hold your breath, whatever you do. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. Slowly return back down flat to the mat. Go ahead and give yourself a little breather in between. I like to do equal parts work and equal parts rest. So we're going to take a little 30-second breather here. But we're going to do, you still owe me 2 more planks. We've got 2 more to go. The rest period always goes a lot faster than the work period. So we're almost ready to start. So whenever you're ready, come up to that plank position, whichever you like. And then we're going to go ahead and lift the midsection up in 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Let's go ahead. Lift those hips up. Remember, still keeping our body nice and straight. Don't let those hips get nice and high. Keep those hips low down towards the mat, but they are elevated off the mat. I know it's kind of hard to see, but Emmanuel's got his hips and legs about 3 or 4 inches off the mat. 10 seconds to go, ladies and gentlemen. 10 seconds left. Keep holding it for 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Take a little breath again. Nicely done. Again, whatever comfortable position for you while you're taking that breath is fine. We've only got 1 more plank to do. 1 more plank. All right, here's our 3rd and final plank for us today, okay? Last one we've got to do. So let's go ahead and start. Ready, set, let's go. Come on up, lift those hips up. Again, holding that position for 30 seconds. Maintain your breath, stay breathing, stay in control. It's been about 15 seconds. You're halfway there. Keep breathing. Keep holding that position. Keep those abdominal muscles tight. Our abdominal muscles might be starting to shake. Hang in there. Hang with me for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Very good. Catch 1 more breath here if you like. We're finished with our planks. That's always reason to celebrate. But planks can sometimes put some strain through our lower back. So let's go ahead and slowly start to come back up to our hands and our knees into a nice flat back tabletop position. Then we want our big toes to be together. We want our knees to be separated. And then we're going to slowly sit back into our heels, lower our head and shoulders, and reach our arms out for a much needed, well-deserved stretch. This always feels nice after those planks. And really try to reach those arms out as far as you can. This gives ourselves a chance to relax, a chance to recuperate, catch that breath after those planks that we just performed. And if you feel like you've had enough of that stretch, you can join us back on our hands and our knees 1 final time. And whenever you're ready, and however you find easiest, you can roll onto your backs 1 more time. We're going to flip over onto our backs. And I'd ask you to just go ahead and lay down completely flat on our backs now. As we're laying back flat, go ahead and grab both of your knees, pull both of your knees into your chest. Again, this usually feels nice after those planks. And again, you can lift your head and shoulders off the mat, or you can keep your head and shoulders flat to the mat. Whichever you choose is fine. Rest period is over. We're going to go back to work. Go ahead and return both of your feet flat to the mat. Your knees will still be bent. All right, so let's just put 1 hand behind your head. 1 hand behind our head just to support our head and our neck. And our other arm is going to be down to our side. All right. Now with our hand supporting our head and neck, we're going to take our hand and we're going to lean to our side and reach for the outside of that foot. And then we're going to come back to center. Now you can do this with your head off of the mat if you like, or you can keep your head lower to the mat too if you like. Entirely up to you. But as we're leaning down, reaching for the outside of our foot, that's the strenuous part, so that's when we're going to exhale, and we're inhaling as we come back to center. Just a few more of these, just to wake up those oblique muscles. 2 more. Last one. And now whatever we do to one side, we have to make sure we're even and balanced. So we're going to switch hands and switch sides. So again, Emmanuel has placed his other hand behind his head and his neck to support his head and his neck. His other arm is down to his side. Kind of hard to see, but I promise it is. He's going to bend down and lean down to the side, reaching for the outside of that foot, and come back to the center again. Again, tightening those abdominal muscles. Breathing out as he's reaching for his foot and coming back to center, inhaling on the way back up. Doing great over there, everyone. We just have a few more things to do. 2 more of these, reaching those hands down to the side of our foot. Last one. And then we can come back to center. We can return our head back down to the mat. We can keep our arms down to our side. Now here you have another option. We're going to do single leg bridges, but you have the choice of how you want to do them. You can crisscross one foot and place it on your opposite knee if you like. Kind of like a figure 4 position. Or you can reach one leg straight up to the sky. So your choice, okay? Legs straight up or legs across the other one in a figure 4 position, your choice. Whichever you choose. Arms are going to remain down on the mat, nice and flat. And we're just going to lift those hips up nice and high. Again, just like the name implies, single leg bridges. Lift the hips up and then come right back down. That's it. Now if you choose to lift your foot up, keep that foot elevated. Don't let it drop down each and every time. Keep that leg up nice and high while we lift those hips up and come back down. Now with just one leg doing all the work, this is a little more difficult. So we're only going to do a handful of these. We're just going to do 2 more. Last one. Very good. Now we're just going to switch legs. That's all we're going to do. So again, those same options. You can keep that foot up to the sky, or you can crisscross that foot and place it on your other foot for a little more support. And then that figure 4 position that will give us a little more support and make this easier. Well, again, whichever you choose though, lift those hips up nice and high and come back down. We'll do this a few times, coming up, breathing out on the way up, and inhaling on the way back down. And make it a forceful exhale. Make sure to push that air out of your lungs, clearing your lungs, preparing our body for the next inhale. Let's try 2 more here. One more time, last one. Very good. We can go ahead and lower that leg back down. We can go ahead and slowly draw both of our knees back into our chest for a little stretch. Pull those knees in to our chest. Give ourselves a little stretch. And again, those same options. You can lift your head off the mat for a deeper stretch. You can draw some circles with your lower back on the mat in either direction if you like. Or if you're completely happy keeping your head and shoulders flat on the mat, go with that as well. Whichever you choose is fine with us. Make sure you stay within yourself. Stay within your comfort zone. Let's go ahead and return our feet all the way back down flat to the mat. Legs are flat. Let's go ahead and I think we'll do one or 2 more things today. Go ahead and reach both of your arms over your head as well. All right. Now, who remembers how to do snow angels? We're going to do a modified snow angel on our mat, all right? So we're going to be moving our arms and legs just like we're making a snow angel here. So you got to use your imagination. Now, while we're doing this, I want you to try to keep your arms and legs slightly elevated off of your mat while you're doing it. You don't have to keep the arms and legs elevated much, just a few inches off the mat. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And let's go ahead and return back down. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves one more little stretch here. Pull both of your knees back into your chest for a much needed, well-deserved stretch after all of your hard work. You can return your feet back down flat to the mat. You can just lie comfortably. Allow your eyes to close. Take a few nice deep breaths in here, in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through the mouth. One final time. Deep breath in and out. Wonderful job, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for exercising today, and continue all your hard work.